many of you are HR practitioners here? Okay, most of you are excellent. So this piece is a bit more directed towards HR practitioners. Okay, in case you're wondering what is this black bump on my leg, I fell while playing tennis. I was trying to do a Serena Williams, and I dived, and well, I didn't land in the right direction, so just excuse the bump here. So now I'm going to talk a little this morning about HR, the role of HR in the digital age. Now, if you look at globalization and technology, we're living in a very highly complex world that's highly connected. Cross-border bandwidth has actually grown 45 times. Flows of information continues to, grow, and it shouldn't be 7 billion. Sorry, there's a slight error. There's 5 billion users on the global internet, mobile phones today. So your device that you're holding in your hand is going to be the most powerful and ubiquitous device that you're going to be holding. Now, 20 over years ago when I was in university, you know how old I am today, right? I used to, how many of you know snail mail? Okay, I used to write a letter to my mom. It takes about 2 weeks to get to her. I was studying in Canada. It takes 2 weeks to get to her, and by the time, she writes a letter back to me, it's almost a month. So many things have happened. So today it's just a click, it's within seconds. So you know how fast things have grown. So now, in digital platforms, lean and efficient international operations, multi-location, fast-growing markets, job creation through the internet. Interesting thing is that while a lot of traditional jobs are going out, 2.6 jobs are created on the internet for every job lost. So you see how things have moved on the global platform. Shift towards virtual work, and by 2025, online platforms is going to basically boost global GDP by 2.7 trillion. So now, rise of talent platforms. How many of you have seen this platform called Upwork that I put? Not many? Not even one person? Okay. Okay. Now, Upwork is a platform that basically has about 1 million freelancers. So today, as HR practitioners, we are always trying to say, hey, we need a physical body in the office. We can't find people. Like just now what, Frank from LinkedIn is saying, there are 1,000, data scientists, but 100 jobs, 200 jobs available. So now, if you look at IBM has about 100,000 employees globally. But if they tap into talent platform like this, they have about 1 million. Because in this platform, there are freelancers out there with all kinds of specialized skills. So you can actually engage them for piece job, very specialized pieces of work that these freelancers can provide. So it's about shifting our mind from the traditional work to platforms like this, which is like Upwork. Okay, I personally use a lot of talent on Upwork, and they are really, really good. Okay, so that's the next thing is really the future state of work. It's going to be very agile, responsive, and purpose-built environment. New employment relationships is going to evolve, okay? It's not going to be the traditional one. I'll talk a little bit more about that. With technological empowerment, the way we work is going to be transformed. Individual empowerment, machine learning, 3D printing, cybersecurity, design thinking is the rising thing. I just met a group of HR folks from StarHub. They say, hey, we're trying to have innovation within StarHub. We're trying to introduce design thinking throughout the whole organization. So these are upcoming trends, okay, and multidisciplinary work teams. So with this kind of challenges in a global market with new technology coming on board, how do we look at the types of talent? And also, how does HR kind of cope with this kind of revolution? Right, first thing, I'd like to talk a little bit about SUTD. Now, the world needs basically products, services, and systems. So in SUTD, we organize our curriculum in very non-traditional ways. It's not like your traditional mechanical, electrical, engineering, very traditional, basically silos. But what we realize that in the world today, because of systems, the challenges of today's complex environment, we train our students in basically 4 core areas. Large-scale systems on the right, which is your engineering systems, basically energy, distribution systems, supply chains, financial services, complex, a large-scale system that need very complex skills to solve. And of course, the bottom right product, engineering product. So this looks at things like biomedical engineering, automobiles, consumer electronics, assistive technology, And more so, if you look at what the hospitals are needing, realize that actually the hospitals has very good doctors, but they also need engineers to work with them to develop devices, okay, for better living and for aging. And on the left, architecture, really looking at spaces, sustainable building materials, very ecologically responsible urban design. And if you look at the top left, actually this is a very critical area: cloud computing, transportation systems, gaming, healthcare, social networks, security and defense systems. So we built the curriculum this way. And of course, the mission and vision, they really to look at nurturing technically grounded leaders and innovators that can improve lives for the future. And values, really looking at leadership, integrity, passion, collaboration, as well as creativity. So really the distinctiveness is looking at technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. These are the skills required for the future. So now let's look at HR revolution, not evolution. Okay. Now, I'm having a very, very serious audience this morning. Most of you are not smiling. Okay. I need some encouragement, so please smile at me when I look at you, when I talk to you. Thank you very much. Okay, so the technology is changing the way companies operate, and digital disruption, social networking, altering the way how organizations hire, manage, and support people. Now with Pokemon Go, I was at Changi Village last Sunday at the shop of my life. 200 people standing in front of a civil service club, looking like they're in a trance, trying to catch some kind of Pokemon that's hanging around the area at a certain time, okay? So it's a bit crazy, and people are just walking around, and I think I'm one of those Pokemon catchers too, yeah. Okay, so now HR needs to now move from managing. It's not just about managing talent, but how do you organize talent using data analytics? And now moving from very functional teams to multidisciplinary teams and a very integrated HR. So it's really no longer about separate systems not talking to each other, but how do you bring your HR together, okay? I'm speaking a bit fast because I have a 20-minute constraint, okay? Now, key questions we ask ourselves: how can we lead our business leaders and employees? Just now, Suyan was saying that a lot of HR folks are not data-driven, I go in HR because I love people. I'm very empathetic, I love human beings, Every day is a lot of love, but now it's a lot of data now, right? Okay, so how do we now lead our leaders and employees to shift towards a very digital mindset and new way of managing and organizing? How do we change our processes? How do we help to develop design thinking capabilities within the organization and make mobile technology easier and more productive and more enjoyable for our employees, right? So instead of trying to fight the mobile device, you can't fight this device, okay? It's controlling people's mind with Pokemon Go, right? So instead of trying to fight it, let's embrace the mobile phone. Let's join the revolution, right? So how do we reinvent HR and employee experience in a very digital world? So very quickly, I've mapped out something. If you look on the left, the traditional HR is about transactions and processes. But now it's really about integrated platform. How do we bring in the policies, your processes, your systems and operations together into a single platform to make it easier for your employees? Now, instead of systems with web browsers, I remember 10 years ago, I was so happy when I had my first system on the internet. Wow, fantastic. Now employees can go to the computer and then do self-application. Now that is not good enough. It's really about mobile apps. How do you get now your employees now use the handphone to make your HR easier for employees to even do things on the handphone? And paper-based forms, we used to get very excited that things are on the web, right? No longer it is now, it's about digital design. Now, of course, when Apple came out with the phone, the new iPhone 7 without a jack for the headphones, how many of you have a shock? Hey, how do you survive without a jack? Right? So, but it's basically changing the way people think. Why not? It's now air, they plug these things into your ear. That makes you look a little bit strange, right? Alien, right? Without the string, the wire, right? So it's about changing now digital design. How do you change the way we design our things in HR so that we are very, very user-friendly. We make the things user-friendly. SLAs has become to real-time. Everything is real-time, 24/7. So instead of service centers, it's operation centers. Instead of periodic reports, it's really about dashboards. Like LinkedIn, you can click a button. Every day I know my ranking on LinkedIn. I get a lot of stress. Okay, hey, am I in the top 3%, top 1%? I'm racing to get myself, get a lot more, followers, right? So this is really real time. And analytics adds on, integrated analytics platform and dashboards. So in SUTD, we do things like apps for learning. Okay, gaming, gamelets. We have a game lab inside SUTD. All gamers, and we do all kinds of things. They design games, and you can use games for learning. And health, we have moved our health tracking onto, in fact, an app. So now we have competitions among our employees. Say, how many steps are you clocking each day? You can look at your departments. Now, HR has clocked only 10 steps, while marketing is clocked 100 steps, so it's kind of stress to get you moving, right? So we're doing things like this. And employee listening platforms. Now, last time in the olden days, we used to say, oh, you do this employee climate survey once a year. Now we know how our employees feel. Can you imagine if you do your survey in a year's time, half your employees would have left you, right? It's too slow. So we have these things called employee listening platforms. What we do is we use a system called Group Decision Support Systems. And these systems basically help you to have employee engagement real-time interactive. So if you look at a platform, we have an idea, we have a column for suggesting ideas. We do these things called culture conversations every month. So every month we get employees, we have a certain topic. For example, this month, I'd like to talk about what are the steps or processes I can cut down within the organization. And we'll invite employees. The platform is open and they can actually suggest ideas, if you look over there. And they also can rank the ideas, real-time interactive. So these things can be done on a very regular basis. Do not have to wait until half your employees leave and then you start to poll them, okay? Right? So HR dashboards, okay, instead of the very, very boring looking things, forms that we produce or reports that are in very hideous looking Excel spreadsheets that confuse, and CEOs don't have time. Just come to your CEO, 5 minutes, get on with it. So dashboards are very easy to read, okay? So integrated HR platforms, so if you look at, there's a case study of DuPont, they've done an overhaul, go to their website, check out what they're doing, very interesting. They have replaced all the outdated HR systems. They simplify all their processes, integrated and streamlined HR and the learning management systems into a single portal. So everything is self-service, and the advantages is integrated. It's got analytics and reporting, and the results is improved data integrity, reduce IT costs, and increase cross-functional collaboration. So these are the new things that are coming on board, digital HR. So I'd like to talk a little bit about design thinking. How many HR practitioners really go into things like design thinking? It is very important because when you embrace design thinking, you think about the way you do your HR apps, the way you design your processes. You make your processes actually very user-friendly. So in design thinking, we use it very actively in SUTD Plus in our HR team. We always develop a project team when we develop a system. Okay, now the project team, we always have, not just have HR, but we bring in the IT, we bring in the users. So design thinking is about really getting your users involved at the very beginning of the cycle, when you come up with any new system. So when you do that, your users are engaged early in the process, you have a reduced failure rate. So when you bring in users into the process early, you start to have your design iterations. So when you have a version 1, your users come and tell you that, hey, look, I think these are the things that I want to improve user experience. For example, I don't like the way this app feels. So when you do that, then we go back and we have about a few iterations. Then we go through an iterative prototyping process to improve the design, improve the flow. And then from there, when you come up with the final artifact, you have user satisfaction. You have very clear design principles that actually come out from the whole experience. And with the design principles, you can actually use it to reflect and learn the next time when you are trying to do a new project or implement a new process. So I actively casually encourage all HR practitioners here to please embrace design thinking, use design thinking in everything that you're doing, because this is a very good process to help you to develop creativity and also get your users early in the process to reduce all your failure rate. So with that, I'd like to end this talk about the future workplace. So the future workplace is really about an organization that is going to be in digital. Digital HR is the trend. Whether you like it or not, you are in digital. We are in the digital HR age. You have to move towards that. All of you have to be very comfortable with data. I forced my entire HR team to go for statistics course. They almost killed me, okay? They said, you're killing me. One of my employees almost cried. He had nightmares when he talk about ANOVAs, when he start thinking about all this multiple regression. But it is necessary. You got to be comfortable with data. It's not a choice anymore, okay? And really it's about design thinking. As I talk about, you really have to embrace design thinking if you want to move into this, technological age. And of course, the gig economy. The gig economy is really about what I talk about, Upwork, new types of employment relationships. It's no longer the traditional, sit in the desk. My friend from Fujitsu, Rita, who is the head of HR, when she first went into Fujitsu, she had a shock of her life. She didn't have a table. Okay, she has to share. And her boss is kind of in this corner, small little table without an office. That's the new workplace. Okay, and it's really about, the new HR is really about people analytics, new leadership and careers, and really about using culture to drive your mission and employee engagement. So with that, thank you very much. I think I kept within my 20 minutes.